true crime, a total reboot. What does that mean more precisely for someone who has played the first two games?
It means taking it back to ground zero and building it up back from there. Like, I think from the get-go, when we sort of started this project, we wanted to find a couple of things from the original games that still like meant something to us, and we felt had strong standing to start like a new franchise on. And so what we gravitated towards was the undercover cop angle. I think it's important to have a character that's like really sympathetic or somebody that's morally centered. So we started from there, but when it came to the game mechanics, we went back to the drawing board and sat down and said, what's really going to fit this game? Obviously, we were taking it to Hong Kong, and we knew that. So we've been really inspired by a lot of Hong Kong cinema action movies, and we sort of went back to the drawing board and said, what mechanics can we put together that will make this game work in that setting?
Yeah, that's something that came to my mind was the game Stranglehold, and pair that with sort of an open world game.
I think Stranglehold, obviously it was a much more linear experience, and also directed by John Woo, who has a particular style and a particular brand. I think for us, a lot of the movies that have influenced us have been a little different from the John Woo style movies. It's been movies like Infernal Affairs, it's been movies like the Triad Election series, the trilogy that came out. And obviously sort of riffing off of that from Infernal Affairs has been the Martin Scorsese remake like The Departed. So that's where we started with this whole thing, is from a tone point of view and from where we wanted to go. We knew we wanted to move into sort of a much more mature, kind of serious kind of like a place from where the other two games had been. So it's less, I guess, about like the John Woo double guns and doves flying around in the background, and more about sort of creating a something which fits the kind of movies that I referenced earlier.
What is it about Hong Kong that makes it a good place to set an open world game?
It's just a fantastic city from an architectural standpoint. There's such a diverse range of neighborhoods there. It really goes from this. It has this fantastic blend of East and West. It's where East meets West because it was under British rule for so long. So you have some real sort of traditional kind of Chinese areas, like that belong more in the mainland, and then you have some areas which look completely modern, like you have the central sort of financial area, which obviously has a very iconic landscape with the IFC towers, and if you saw Batman Begins, for example, The Dark Knight, there was obviously a fantastic sequence there. So I think just the range that Hong Kong provides, the fact that it's a unique setting that hasn't been done before in an open world action game, we thought it was just the perfect backdrop for this game.
In terms of gameplay, how did you design the city, and what did you feel was most important?
Definitely, first and foremost, we felt like the most important element was to design the city to accommodate gameplay first. So, it was less about a faithful recreation of Hong Kong in terms of geo-mapping the streets and every building and things like that. And it was way more about creating the feeling of being in Hong Kong, the atmosphere, getting pieces of the culture coming across, the people and their stories. And it was very much about creating a space that worked from a gameplay perspective. So I think the sheer density that you have there of like people and of traffic, and the fact that you have alleyways and really interesting spaces, it just screamed out to us to say, do something really unique and different, like from a gameplay perspective.
Yeah, I felt that the grapple system was something a little bit special as well, and how you can use the environment to aid you in fighting.
Yeah, I think the grapple system is a huge part of the combat system. Obviously from the grapple state, it allows you to do any number of things. So, as you saw today in the demo, there's a number of environmental interactive objects that you can, interact with, like throw people into dumpsters, use fridges, use electric panels. But, from that state, the other thing which has been incredibly important to us is to, again, capture that seamlessness, that fluidity. We never want you to stop or be stuck like in a state. So from that grapple state, you have a number of things available to you to do. It's like whether you want to just execute a number of strikes to take your opponent out, whether you want to move into a locomotion state and grab that person and drag them with you, at high speed. There's any range of things that you can do, and I think that makes the game feel incredibly dynamic and exciting.
We're standing in front of Club Bam Bam here. Could you tell us what that is and about the locations in the game?
It's one of the clubs that very early on in the game, the protagonist has to go in and help his triad sort of mid-level boss at that point like take ownership of. And it's a place where you can go and hang out. It's a place where you can go and meet women. It's a place where you can go and sing karaoke. It's a place to go and have a lot of fun. So Hong Kong itself, we have 4 main neighborhoods or 4 major neighborhoods that we're using. They're all based on real-world locations. You know, we spent a lot of time researching Hong Kong, took a lot of photographs, spoke to a lot of people. And, the Club Bam Bam you'll find in North Point. And other sort of areas you'll find in there is Kennedy Town, Aberdeen, and the Central District, which is divided into Central Financial and Central Commercial District. So lots of really distinct and varied areas for the game to take place in.